So with this Atoms and Elements project, you are going to use Google Sheets. And we are going to use just Google Sheets web version. There is an app for Google Sheets, but it lacks some of the functionality and all the tools to edit charts. So in this assignment, you are going to build a data table and a data chart, which is either a bar chart or a pie chart. So the directions go over how you rename the file, open the file and rename the file. And so I'm going to go over that with you. In step number 3, you're going to click into the name of this file which is linked. So when you click on it, it will do one of two things. It will either open it up using Google Sheets on the web version or on the app. Now this is the app. If you have the app installed, it will open it up in the app. If you don't have the app installed, it may ask you to install the app, but you don't have to do that. So you notice that it doesn't have a website address at the top, so this is the app. If you need to rename your file using the app, this is what you do. You will click on the 3 dots at the top right-hand side, and then you are going to click Share and Export. And then you'll click Make a Copy. When the copy is done, it is going to open it, and now it has the new name of the file. Then you will hit the backspace key here, this arrow, and it brings you to a list of your files. It should be the top file, and you're going to click on the 3 dots that you see over here on the right-hand side. Then you will click the Rename button. And the directions are clear that you are to use your last name, Atoms and Elements Sheet, and then click Rename. But since I already have it, I'm not going to click on that. To get to your sheets, on the website, you click the word sheets.google.com. If you are logged into your Google address at school, you will see an M and then your initial. If you tap on your initial, it gives you information about your account. And then to open up the file, you would click on your file name. So what you will do is click on the new name and your file will be there. And then you can start by creating a data table. You are going to create a table that looks like this, and then you're going to create a pie chart. So the rest of this video will explain that. If you are using the web version of Google Sheets, when you first open up the file linked in the assignment, it's going to look like this. It will have copy of Atoms and Elements Sheet. And so to rename it, it's quite simple. You click the word File. Be sure to first click File and then Make a Copy. Then from your copy, click File and Rename. Give it the name. You can use arrows because part of the name will be there. You don't have to retype the whole thing. So you will say Reynolds. Your last name, by the way, not mine. Atoms and Elements Sheet. Then hit Enter and it renames it. If you're familiar with spreadsheets such as Apple's Numbers, Microsoft Excel, or Google Sheets, they all are very similar in that they are a grid pattern with rows and columns. The column headings at the top are all letters, and the row on the left are all numbers. So it's like playing Battleship. You can click into a cell, and it will highlight that at the top and to the left. So this is cell D4. And each cell here can act like a calculator. So if you type numbers into cells, it can perform simple math to very sophisticated math. The power of spreadsheets is used for school, it's used for business, it is used for analyzing numbers. So there really is no limit to what you can do with a spreadsheet. You can also add text, graphics, pictures, and so on. So on the screen, there is a picture of a table. This is not part of the spreadsheet. It is what we are going to model to make a table, and then we're going to make a chart. Notice at the very bottom of the screen here, it shows atomic structure and elements of the human body. So these are tabs. If you click into the elements of the human body, the second page shows. So you can have multiple tabs. It almost looks like a spreadsheets within a spreadsheet. If you'd like to get full screen, you can swipe the top menu bar out of the way. I can also swipe to open up the app, so I'll get rid of that. And you can even get rid of the menu, but that little arrow there will minimize the menu. But I think you want the menu, so I'm going to have you ensure that you have the menu turned on. So to move around, you are going to use your finger to scroll around left and right. And now what we're going to do is create this. We're going to create this as a table so that we can do things with it. We're just using this as a pattern. So go ahead and type the words protons in the nucleus. Neutrons in the nucleus. Electrons in orbitals, and we'll explain what those are. So if you look at the example here, I really just combined two rows. Notice protons and location in the atom. So I filled in that part, and you'll see why when we create the chart. And we're going to do the mass first, and then we're going to do the electrical charge. The electrical charge for protons is positive, so you can type that in. Pause the video if you need to catch up, because you're going to be able to do this at your own pace. Neutrons are neutral. Electrons are negative. When I had you type the word mass, I forgot to put the unit of measurement in there, and so to edit a field, you double click into it, and you can move your arrow keys around. So you have to go back over here to mass, and now put a bracket, and we're going to put the word Dalton. That's a unit of measurement for subatomic particles. Now a little bit about formatting. So notice on my screen, it shows electrical charge, and I'm losing part of the word, but you can change the size of the cells. Here's what you do. We're going to change the size of the A column. So long press on the A until you get this menu, and then you will choose resize column. And we're going to try fit to data and see if that works. So it made it really large because of the title up above, so that was not a good choice. So I'm going to do a long press and then resize the column. And I noticed 100 before, so let's try 125. Now let's do a little formatting. Let's single tap into the row that you can see over here as the top left corner, and then grab that little blue either with your finger or with a stylus and highlight all the way over so that we grab generally the entire section that we're defining here. And then up at the top menu, there is a square with lines on it. Click on that. We'll give you options for borders. I'm going to click on the top left one so that it makes a border around everything. And then I tapped out of the table itself. But notice my example has color, and what we've done is just all white background. So let's do a little coloration by tapping into that first cell, selecting everything over at the top row, and then going up here to that paint bucket for a fill. Don't go crazy with dark colors because you won't see your text in through there. So choose a light color. And if you don't like that, you can go back in and select another one. I'm going to also do that for the other side of the table. And it will have a color already chosen for you over in the, I thought it would be in a theme or something, but I think I chose that one. Okay, good enough for now. So now we can put in numbers. So we're going to put a 1 in this column. It turns out that protons are a mass of 1 Dalton. Same thing for neutrons. And electrons are what is known as a fraction. So it is 1 over 12,000. When you enter that, it entered it as text. Let's see if we can convert this into a number. So I highlighted that number. I'm going to then go up to the menu where you see 1, 2, 3. You're going to press that and choose number instead of automatic. If we were going to do math with that, I would probably want it in a decimal. So what you can do is the equal sign 1 divided by 12,000. Once you had it set as a number. It looked like it went away, but I only have 2 decimal places. So it's there. I'm going to tap into it. And up at the top where it shows these right arrows for more zeros, you're going to press that. And there it is. So if you have a cell formatted as a number, you can do math in there by first starting with the equal button, and then you could do math with the symbols on the keyboard. But the math can get much more complicated than that. You might be familiar with the Texas Instrument calculator, and so every cell is a Texas Instrument calculator that can do amazing mathematics. There are many pre-built formulas already in there, so you wouldn't have to type the entire formula. And we're keeping it simple at this point, but just know that that's where the power of spreadsheets are. You can put graphics in here, text. You could write up an entire scientific report using a spreadsheet. So we have our table. It's pretty basic and simple, but it's going to show the power of this. You could do a lot more with formatting. You could put in bold. You could align it so that it's center and all of that. I'll leave that up to you. I'd like for you to select by tapping into this table we created and just choosing the top 2 rows as you see right here. Then up in the menu, click the word insert, and we are going to insert a chart that you see right here. And it is building a chart based on what we selected, and your chart might look different because the last thing I worked on was a pie chart, so I think it thought I would like to have another chart. But I'm going to select over in the menu that you see. And if you lose the chart editor menu, then you just have to tap, let's say I tapped out of it. Then you just have to tap into the chart one more time. If you double tap in it, it will bring up the chart editor. Or if you single tap, you will see that there's 3 dots now, and you can touch into those 3 dots and you'll click Edit Chart. And now I want to change it from a pie chart over to a bar chart. And they do have 2D and 3D, so I guess I'll choose just that one right there. And now I can move this around. I can get rid of the chart editor if I'd like. I'm just going to leave it there because I'm going to do some more edits. And now you can see why we typed in protons in the nucleus, neutrons in the nucleus, electrons in the orbitals, because that becomes our labels. What we had at the top of the chart becomes the x-axis or the series labels. And it did pick up automatically the vertical axis label or the y-axis label. So it picked that up right here to the left. If you had selected that, it would not have done so. So if you rewind the video, you'll see that I just selected protons in the nucleus where my little dot is over here. And it will automatically pick this up. It's got like a chart wizard. What happened to the electrons in the orbitals? It's there, but remember it's 1/10,000ths of 1. So let's click into our table if you are not there. And let's see if we can choose, I saw it earlier, a 3-dimensional. So column chart. It's under customize and chart style and 3D. And then you can see that it does show up there, but it's so small. While we're here, let's do a little more editing. Add chart title. The chart title are the subatomic particles of protons, neutrons, and electrons, so that's a better title. You can change the font color and everything as you see there as your options. Going to click into series, and we're going to add data labels. And the data labels may be in the correct spot for you. Notice it started at the very top. You can change the data label fonts and colors. And we really want to look at position here. And I was doing this earlier, and I think inside the base looked the best. So to edit formatting on the data labels, it is a custom label. So selecting the table, go to the word customize. And this is under the series. And we were down here at the data labels, and we are going to the number format of custom. Then you are going to select the other custom formats, and you type in how many decimal places you would like. So it would be like 0.1234, and then apply. Now let me talk to you about turning this in. This is just our classwork. You are going to work on the other tab here in a minute, elements of the human body. But at the top corner, it says share. So click on share. And now notice that it says get a link. It should say change the link to Mater Dei High School, We want that, so click into it. And when I sent this to you, I sent it as a view only. You could not modify that. That's why you saved it as a copy. If you were to click on that, you could send this to someone and give them editing power. But all I need is viewing, so we're going to leave it as it is. And now what you will do is click copy link. And this is what you turn in. It's in memory, so now you can click done and you would go over to Canvas, open up the assignment, and now just paste the address for this into the link. It's quite simple when you are using Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, and you want to share a link, because when you get the link, it turns link sharing on. I will warn you, however, if you are using some other formats, it often gives you the link, but you also have to turn link sharing on. But in this case, it is turned on. What I don't want you to do to turn this in, do not select by emailing this to me, as you see up at the top. You are turning in a link to the file, and that's all that it will allow you to do over at the assignment. So you make sure that Modern Day High School, anyone that has a modernday.org email address, then can open this up. So let's talk about the next part that you are going to complete on your own, elements of the human body. So there are like 5 main elements that make up our body weight. 65% of you is oxygen atoms, 18.5% carbon atoms, and so on. This is a picture that you are going to turn into a data table, and you are then going to make a pie chart with this. So to get you started, I'll show you that you need to type the word oxygen. Let's put the symbol for it first, and then the next one, C for carbon. The next one, H for hydrogen, and so on. Then you're going to type in the percentages, 65%, 18.5, 9.5, and we can put headings in here. These are symbols. These are the elements. These are their percentages. Every good table needs a title. The title is not at the top of the table itself. So these are the percentage of body weight in humans. I can make that bold. I could change the font size. Go ahead and format this properly with nice shaded headings on the top and on the left. Also make lines, just like we did on the previous one. Then when you type in all these elements, you're going to select the element name, starting with oxygen, down to the bottom. It's very easy to make a pie chart. Click the word insert from the menu up above. Insert a chart. It picked up my bar chart from before, so now I'm going to go over here and change it to a pie chart. There's a 3-dimensional pie chart right here. And it did a nice job. But it has the wrong title. So what you'll want to do is go over here, customize it so that it has the right chart title. But look at that, it picked up the name of the element and it picked up the percentages. So finish that and then turn in a link, and that is your assignment. Pretty cool, huh? You have the power of spreadsheets.